Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Ausra.
Let's start episode 113 of Ask Vidas and Osha podcast. And today's question was sent by Martin. He writes, I really enjoy your podcasts and postings. I have a question for you. Presently, I have a new student, 8th grade, who indicated an interest in playing the organ. He has a piano background, and when I asked him to show me some of the materials he is currently studying with another teacher on the piano, it appeared to be significantly less advanced than some of the pieces he played for me by memory. I gave him one selection to prepare for me with minimal pedal and asked him to prepare only the parts he would play on the manual. When I listened to it this week, there were practically no difference in eighth notes and quarter notes. He told me that he felt he was a very poor sight reader and learned by ear and by writing in the note names. I'm wondering if he has actually learned to make a connection between what is written on the page and what he plays. I feel badly because he actually plays quite musically from memory, but it has to take him an inordinate amount of time. I asked his parents, and they feel his reading level in other material is good. I assigned a C major scale and arpeggio in separate hands for next week and told him that we would start with some basic sight reading in that key for next week, treble clef only. This would include clapping of basic rhythms and then transferring to the keyboard. Does this sound like a reasonable approach to lay the foundation for actual music reading? If you don't answer this, it is fine. I know you are both quite busy. Martin. So, Osha, the situation is quite depressing for this teacher, right?
Yes, it might be very hard, to have a student like this. And I guess that probably his student got his early musical training based maybe on Suzuki method. I'm guessing so. I'm not, 100% sure, but that's my best guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Suzuki method is based on learning how to play from your ear. Actually, you don't read a music score
Until later.
until actually much later. And this method sort of was developed in Japan by violinist, Suzuki. And it works for violin fairly well because we have only one line. And I have heard violinists, after many years who were trained as a Suzuki players when we were very small. An advantage of this system was that you can start to play music very early in that case. And we start teaching you when you are at the age of like 3 years old, which would be probably impossible if you want to make your student to sight read music at that early age from the music
Yeah.
score. But what I also have heard, and that's a disadvantage of the system, that although we develop a perfect pitch by playing from ear all the time, we actually never learn to read music fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
And we always struggle at that even later on when we are an adults. So what do you Vidas think about this problem?
First of all, about Suzuki method. Yes, Shinichi Suzuki developed this system in hope of helping children to learn like they would be learning mother tongue, because when they learn to speak their native tongue, they don't learn to read first, right? They want to imitate first what their parents tell separate words, phrases. So the small kids also watch their peers and brothers and sisters play, let's say, violin or other instruments, observe them for a month, 2, 3, even half a year, until they are so motivated to pick up the instrument themselves and try out from ear without ever looking at the score. But as Osha says, it's a great system for developing perfect pitch. But if you are not very hardworking, then reading music is a problem later on. Only those extremely hardworking students can be proficient in reading music as well using this Suzuki system. So if Hubertus has a student in 8th grade, who knows if he was trained in Suzuki or not, but apparently he is a poor sight reader.
Yes, and I remember when way back, many years back, I was working in one school and teaching actually first and second and third graders piano. I also noticed that for some students, it's much easier to look at my fingers when I'm playing and then to mechanically memorize what keys I'm pressing and not looking at the score. That was also one of the cases I had. This was also frustrating actually, because I think that the reading music from the score should come first. Of course, the progress then will be slower probably when learning in other methods, but it will be definite, and finally it will lead you to more success.
Especially if you are 8th grader.
Yes, so I would just suggest for Martin with this particular student, don't let him to play like this, not using the score. He must look at the score all the time until he will be able to play it correctly, with the right rhythms, not to play like he said eighth notes as quarter notes,
Mm-hmm.
and only then after he be comfortable enough while playing from the music
Mm-hmm.
score, let him to play from memory or from ear.
I have a proposition for Martin. It will be like a little bit of extra work for the student, but in the end it will be much more beneficial. Uh, what about uh, assigning sight reading exercises or short pieces for your student at home and asking him to record his playing and send the MP3 recordings to you, to the teacher? It will be like extra extra care and extra support from you. You don't have to grade them, but you just have to know that he has prepared something new for him, and he cannot really avoid playing from from the sheet music this way. Let's say 1 page per day or something, a short piece, maybe just one single line, left hand, right hand alone. What do you think about that, Osha?
Yes, I think that would be very beneficial.
Because a student will not be willing to do this on his own, obviously, because it's difficult and he has to force himself. So that would be like an um, additional level of support from the student, from this teacher, I mean. And also, when he comes to you on a weekly basis to the lesson, how about spending majority of time on sight reading of the lesson?
I think at the beginning it would
Hmm.
be great because that's what he needs in order to be, better player, better musician.
Yes. So assign him a collection of music, maybe I don't know whatever you like on that level, and assign 1 page per day or something, or one piece per day, and see if he can uh, focus on recording his assignments and sending the MP3s to you.
Yes, and I don't think he will be very happy at the beginning with
Hmm.
this new assignment, but looking into the future, I think he will be thankful to you.
True. And guys, if you yourself struggle with sight reading at the level that you miss quarter notes and mix them with eighth notes and they all sound the same, and you feel the need to write down the note names above or below the notes, then you can do the same thing. You force yourself to record, and it will be like a accountability system for you.
That's what some of my students, during the solfege do with the C clefs, exercises in C clefs, where we have to play one voice on the piano and to sing another voice. And we have like two different C clefs, like for example, tenor and alto, or tenor and soprano. So we just write in the note names, and it just makes me, furious. Yes.
It's not then clef reading at
Yes,
all.
it's cheating actually.
Defeats the purpose. Okay, so don't cheat, guys. I think you want to succeed in this for the long term, and remember that the first few weeks will feel like hell, but later on will be purgatory, right?
Yes,
And
and
then
then
later heaven.
yes, that's right.
And with this optimistic note, we leave you for your practice, because when you practice,
Miracles happen.